This is the Winter Overlap Project for November 30th through December 4th, 2020. Our learning target. This week, we will create a winter-themed project that features a repeating shape which creates rhythm. Some of the shapes should overlap, which creates space. The spaces should also show evidence of value shading so that there is a highlighted area which is closest to the light source, a medium tone, and a darker tone which is farthest from the light source. I will create a winter-themed artwork that covers the paper. I will choose a shape to be repeated throughout the artwork and overlap some of the shapes. I will determine the direction of the light source and create highlights, medium tones, and darker tones on the shapes. Project must-haves. Image must fill the paper, meaning any white space must be there for a reason. For example, if it's snow, it would be white space. The project must have a winter theme, an object that repeats and overlaps, light, medium, and dark tones on the repeated objects that indicates a single light source. Choices: type of object that is repeated, art medium, direction of the light source. Here are some ideas to get you started. Most of these projects fit most of the requirements for our specific assignment. However, you might notice that some of them are missing an element or have something that's just slightly different than what our assignment is. For example, look at the Christmas tree on the right. There's great examples of repeated shapes with the spheres for the Christmas ornaments. There's a great example of a single light source. All of the white spots on the ornaments are coming from the same direction, and all of the dark spots are on the same direction. However, what this one is missing is a background. It's a great project, but right now it's missing that element of filling up the space. There's a lot of white space around it. So if the artist here had colored the background a color or maybe added some type of pattern to the background, then this one would get full credit. As it is, it's going to lose a few points for not completely filling up the space. So as you're looking at these examples, keep in mind that we do have a specific set of requirements that we're trying to fill, and these are just ideas. You might also notice that these are a lot of them about the Christmas holidays. Your project does not have to be about a specific holiday. It can be anything that means winter or represents winter for you. It could be about Christmas, it could be about New Year's, but it could be about something completely different. One of the art vocabulary words for this project is rhythm. Rhythm, the use of repetitive shape, creates rhythm throughout the piece of art. There are several repeated shapes in the examples on the previous page. Cubes for packages, spheres for ornaments, oval shapes for bulbs. The use of value shading is also required on this assignment. Highlights, medium values, and darker shading values on each element indicating a single source of light and creating the illusion of depth. Look at the picture included here. In this example, the artist did not indicate a single source of light. You can tell because the highlights on the Christmas ornaments are not all facing the same direction. So that's one thing that you want to be aware of. Where is your light source coming from? And then be consistent. Make the highlights on the same side of each of your elements. We are also using overlapping in this project. Overlapping is when one object sits in front of another, covering part of the second one. It helps create the illusion of space or depth. Notice that the snowman in the black hat is in front, and we know that because we see most of the circles that create the snowman. The green hat is slightly behind the black hat, and the pink hat is even further behind that. That's overlapping. This is the grading rubric for this project. Notice there are 4 areas, and each are valued differently. First, the project has a winter theme. Students may choose the subject of their art, but they need to be able to explain how it relates to the theme of winter. That area is worth 50 points. Overlapping. Artwork has evidence of overlapping to create the illusion of depth. That's worth 10 points. Value shading. Objects in the artwork demonstrate the source of light because they are value shaded with the highlight, medium tone, and darker tone in the shaded area. Remember, we want to be consistent here. We want all of the highlights on the same side of each of the objects and all of the darker shaded areas on the opposite side of each of the objects. That's worth 10 points. Repetition. At least one shape is repeated multiple times throughout the artwork, creating rhythm. And that area is worth 30 points for a total of 100 points.